Happy New Year and welcome to AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recaps. I'm your host, the People's Champ Cal, and alongside me as always, I have my tag team partner with what looks like to be a new setup, the Kalelmanofsteel Delisha. What's going on, Delisha?
Hey, so we didn't get any snow here in the Philadelphia area, so I just made my background full of snow.
Yeah, I was upset too because everyone's like, "Oh, we're gonna get so much snow," and
oh, you didn't get any?
Nope. It was this.
Oh, it must have just been South Jersey then.
Yeah, no, it was funny because it said like, what did it say? It was like, hold on, let me look at my audio levels because it looks like it's going like crazy high with my audio levels, but oops, let me turn it down a little bit. Let me know if I'm too loud for you guys in the chat, but I'm gonna turn it down a little bit and then just let me know if it's too quiet because I know I turned it up for when I was playing games and the game was louder than me, but now I will turn myself down because I'm like redlining it. Yeah, no, it was funny because we were supposed to get like 30%, what do you call it, 30% chance of snow, and then it became 80% in 22 minutes, and then in 22 minutes no snow came, and I was so upset, and then it said 0% chance, and I was so upset, and you know how much I love snow.
You got that one shot.
Yep.
And the weather blew it.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and say we got Will in the chat. Welcome, Will. Welcome, Skye. And welcome, Entertained. We'll be talking about the first pay-per-view of the year, not our AfterMat year, but of the actual calendar year, day one. I think it was a pretty cool concept to have a pay-per-view. I know we didn't have one in December, so this kind of makes up for it. And they actually it worked out well enough that they could split it up, right? So like the fact that Royal Rumble's a month away. I mean, it's the same month, but it's 4 weeks, right? So technically a month away. So it kind of gives time to build up for it, and I kind of like this thing with. And like I know you and I've discussed this before, and I know we've Raj has also chimed in as well. You guys know the Road Dog Raj, who's joined us a few times. He loves having Saturday pay-per-views because that way you can like sleep in the next day. You don't have to worry about going to work and stuff. And then sometimes he can even come over. Like luckily Raj actually came over. Well, he was gonna stay for the pay-per-view, but. He had to get back home, but he came over for New Year's and he got tested and everything prior to coming, so I'm very fortunate for that as well, just for my parents' sake and stuff. So he actually quarantined. He didn't do anything for Christmas, and I didn't do anything for Christmas because of everything that's going on. So he was home for 14 days, but he still took a test, so I'm forever grateful for that, just to come over here. But yeah, he was saying I wish I could stay, but I love that the pay-per-views are on Saturdays. I hope that's something they're testing out with the Royal Rumble and keep it going. I know it's not going to keep going because, well, we know for a fact WrestleMania is 2 nights, which is Saturday and Sunday. But if they can make it Saturday from now on, I'd love that. That'd be great. I think AEW does Saturday pay-per-views if I'm not mistaken. But what do you think about Saturday? I know you enjoyed it too, right? Having them.
Oh yeah, I love having the pay-per-views on Saturday, even though. Like we were talking about last night, they're not calling it pay-per-views anymore. Mm-hmm. They are premium live events. So I don't know if that's going to stick or not, but yeah, I really wish. I know they probably won't, but especially the big four. I know this wasn't a big four pay-per-view, but especially the big four that are 18 hours long. Having them on a Saturday and have that other day to relax, except for WrestleMania and. Whatever, that's 2 nights, but I hope they keep this up. Hopefully, I'm hoping the numbers make it so that they keep it up. Yeah. But I think Joe was telling me that the reason why Royal Rumble is on Saturday is because Sunday starts the football NFC.
The AFC NFC championship games are on that Sunday.
The championship games, so they don't want to compete with that because. It is a competing audience.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Eric.
I don't know why Yeah, welcome Eric too. Yeah, Eric was the third man of our show, the Hitman. So welcome. Hope you feel better, man. I know it's a tough time for everybody right now, but you know, we'll get through it together. Hopefully, soon it'll end. But yeah, I see why. I knew it wasn't the Super Bowl, so I guess it was NFC and AFC Championship games. But whatever, keep it like this. I like it like this. I don't know. That's what my thoughts are. Anyway, let's get to the... Oh, well, before we get into it, let's think about what you thought of the pay-per-view, just like leading up with the match card and all that. How'd you feel about the pay-per-view?
I feel like looking at the match card itself, I thought it was gonna be a pretty solid, even though we had that last minute change. That's when I got worried. I even text you that. But overall, I think all the matches, I was about to say matched up, no pun intended, with because they like you said, they have enough time to kind of like build up to these things with the pre-show match notwithstanding. But I was actually pretty well entertained.
Yeah, same for me. Like, I was pretty happy with what the card was like. I was actually like... It's funny because usually, like, I'm like, pick whatever you want, I'll take whatever is the rest when we split up the matches. But this time around, like, it seemed like I was like, I need to have these four matches. Like, I had 4 of the matches, and like I know the other 4 had pretty much people you like Big E and like New Day and stuff like that. So it was his best pay-per-view of 2022 so far. But yeah, so like it worked out pretty well because it was supposed to be 4-4 and like pretty much evenly split for people we like. So that came out pretty well. But then obviously we can talk about when we get to the main event what happened. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. So let's start without further ado. The pre-show match featured. Here we go again. I keep saying Sheamus for him, but I could say Sheamus because he's in this match. Cesaro and Ricochet against Sheamus and some dude. I forgot his name already. Riddick Holland? Was it Riddick? Ridge Holland. Thank you, Ridge Holland. This guy they found him in the audience and just brought him into the ring, and it showed because he got hurt within the first 2 minutes. It wasn't his fault. I saw it happen. Like Ricochet landed on him improperly. And then broke his nose, so he had to leave. So it was basically a 2-on-1 handicap match where Cesaro and Ricochet dominated Sheamus for the majority of the match until Sheamus was able to come back and muster up energy, some momentum, come back and finally take out Ricochet on the outside with a white noise, which is pretty much eliminated for the match. He battled with Cesaro for a little bit inside the ring. Cesaro tried to spear him in the corner, sort of, or a shoulder block into the corner, whatever you want to call that, shoulder tackle into the corner. Sheamus moved out of the way, came off the ropes, hit the Brogue Kick for the win. 1, 2, 3. Good on Sheamus. I always want to see him succeed. I want to see actually most of these people succeed. I don't know much about Ridge Holland. Maybe he's good, maybe he's not. But the other 3 guys I'm a big fan of. So hopefully they will continue doing well. And I kind of really hope Cesaro and Sheamus Cesaro and Sheamus come back as the bar. That'd be awesome. But if not, Cesaro and Ricochet would make a good tag team. I think they could do some good like power and speed moves together. As long as they don't hurt people. But that was a mistake. It was a mistake. It happens. It was sloppy. I always like to call those out. But yeah, it was a good match, I thought, and I really like this bald-headed tag team. So hopefully they keep it up. I don't know what they're gonna call him, but what'd you think, Alicia? I don't know if you got a chance to watch it or not.
Yeah, hashtag no hair club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually did enjoy the match. It was unfortunate that Ridge had to be taken out. But yeah, the only drawback is that if they don't let me back up. I do like the fact of Cesaro and Ricochet as a team. I think they work really well together, and it would be a new matchup for the Usos because we're getting a lot of the same teams coming over and over again, especially on the SmackDown shows itself. So it'll be nice to see them have some new competition. And based on past history of how they treat Ricochet and Cesaro, I don't see them taking the belts off the Usos if that would have happened. And that's where like the drawback for this match comes. It's just like we kind of just heat up Ricochet and Cesaro whenever we feel the need to, and then they just go by the wayside for a couple of months, and then let's heat them back up again because the crowd loves them. So that's what I just get nervous of, even though they're both like really great talent. And big ups to Sheamus for just taking on this match all on its own. It does seem like maybe they were supposed to win this match all along, because this would have been a great excuse if he had lost to be like, hey, you guys basically have me on a handicap match, just to keep that feud going. I mean, they still could because they broke his nose, so that's a reason to keep fighting with this feud. But overall, I mean, for opening match, it was pretty good. The crowd was into it, for the most part, and then they were ready to get on to the main show.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really hope that they do have a good what do you call it comeback, like continuation for this tag team. I don't know much about Ridge Holland, like I said, but I really do like Cesaro and Ricochet together, and I really want to see them do something. Maybe become the tag team champions. I really see that can happen in the future. So or near future, hopefully, actually. Because I don't know how much longer. I mean, the fans are loving Rated RK Bro. I also don't know what brand each of them are on, like, because I never know that. But I don't even know who the SmackDown tag team champions are. Oh, the Usos, right? So yeah, I mean either of them, like I'm kind of enjoying the, like we always say it, the roller coaster of the WWE tag team division. Good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. But it's pretty fun right now. I'm enjoying the RK Bro as much as I don't like Matt Riddle. No one really likes Matt Riddle, so it's cool. But he's a tremendous athlete. I just don't like his character. We've done that before with RVD, But yeah, busted noses.
Yeah, I'm about to say we're actually on the same page with that, and just hearing about some things about him backstage makes me not really want to like him. So I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Will says he loves Matt Riddle. Nobody likes Matt Riddle, Will. Anyway, yeah, so that brings us to the second match of the evening, which features the aforementioned SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, against the New Day, featuring Kofi Kingston and represented by Kofi Kingston and King Xavier. I believe this is your match.
Yeah. I mean, you should know how. I mean, Kofi is the hand of the king. You should know these terms. You're very well versed in them.
Yes. My father, my father was on the other side of my the other show I do. My father was the hand of the king, but then I killed the king.
So probably for the 8,428th time in their career, we have the Usos versus the New Day. And I mean, as we know, when these two come together, no matter what they do, you're gonna get a good match. And I do like that at times they always tweak something to give something fresh to the match. With this one, but we have the bloodline versus the royalty of King Woods and Kofi Kingston, hand of the king. And right off the gate, New Day kind of kept Jimmy like isolated from Jay, and I only know that because I wrote it down of who's who this time.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. Trying to keep them on vintage tag team wrestling. You keep the guy on your side so that they cannot tag in a fresh partner. But of course, the Usos will use a distraction to get Jay to be able to get Jimmy to tag in Jay, and he would then do the reverse with Kofi of keeping them isolated from Woods so that he could not tag in the fresher partner. But we finally do get that hot tag moment of King Woods being able to come in and right away going off on Jimmy, and he was about to do a dive onto Jay, I believe. See, even in my notes, I'm still getting them confused. I don't know how this happens. How does this happen? But with Vint of heel tactics, getting distracted to get his brother out the way, and he was able to then reverse it and then jump off onto Woods. And then they started playing up a storyline of attacking Kofi's knee so that he could not do a lot of the high flying moves. Even though he did try to counter back with the SLS, and almost got the near fall. And for a quick second, I was like, "Oh, we actually are going to take the belt off the Usos." So I thought that was going to be interesting. But like 2.99 seconds, he kicked out. And then after that, we kind of got a lot of like near falls between the two teams. And then probably one of the most shocking moments of the night, the Usos, like I said, they always bring out something, a little tweak to the repertoire to make something different. They pull out a 3D onto Kofi to get the 1-2-3 pin, and they retain their championships, or as what Pat McAfee was calling it, the 1D, because of day one. And anyway, but I thought that was a pretty interesting way to end that match. I don't know if that's now been passed on to them from the Dudleys, or if that was just a let's just do something different and see how it goes moment. But it was pretty fun because who was expecting that? And all in all, like I said, they always put on a good match, even if it is for the umpteenth time of the year. And hopefully, because this was for the most part pretty clean finish, they can kind of move on to some new opponents and, like I said, get some freshness back into that tag team division.
Yeah, I mean, for these two, like, it's never boring to watch them. They always put on really good matches. We really enjoy whatever they do. And don't feel bad about not knowing who telling the Usos apart, because they can't even tell each other apart. And I mean, how many times can we see this? Like you said, but they always put on a good match. Like, I feel like actually the Usos and the New Day can put a good match on with anybody. Pretty much, they got that like AJ Styles kind of thing. Except now he's gonna fight Omos, I think, so that's probably not gonna be a good match. But other than that, AJ Styles can pretty much go in the ring with anybody and look good. And same for these four guys. They look really good. It was a great match and very entertaining. How many more times can we see this? Let's see some new tag teams in there. Because like I said, we've been seeing some really good, tag teams. I want to see like Rude and Ziggler get more of a push. But with heel tag teams, what can you do? I don't know. All right. The next match features, oh boy, Drew McIntyre against some dude. Happy Hogan. No. Madcap McGee. Mad Dog Mulligan. Something. His name is something. Felicia, what's his name?
It's Madcap Moss.
Okay, I was close enough.
I'm about to say, even Booker T said he doesn't like the name, so there you go. You're in good company. Yeah. Well, we're all in good company because I hate the name too. It's stupid. But yeah, this is going to be one of the probably our quickest recap other than that, because it literally, well, I don't even remember why this was a match. They stole his sword from when Adam Pearce confiscated it for a match that he was in. He got the sword back. They put him in a match. Corbin put him in a match with Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre just basically just whipped him all over the ring, and it was over in like 3 minutes. Okay, I think it was longer than that, but it felt like 3 minutes, and the match is over. I mean, it was fine. This literally could have been a match on SmackDown. I don't know why it was here on the day one. I mean, I know why it was there, because they needed a match. I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for the Ridge Holland injury, they could have switched these soon. But you're not really going to put Drew McIntyre at this point of his career on the pre-show. At least I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, the match was fine for what it was. We did get a slight more payoff to let us know. Well, actually, no. I thought it was to further the feud, but apparently Drew needs to get some work done on his neck. So this was a way they attacked him after the match, and they really made emphasis of like targeting his neck as an excuse to write him off. So this feud isn't done. I don't think. I guess when he comes back, they could heat it up if they want to. But it for what it was fine.
Yeah, I don't really know much about this guy either, and why this match was made. But you're right. I feel like this is what do you call it? I think, like Skye was telling me earlier, Drew needs to work on his neck, just like you said. You reiterated that or said that as well. I think the reason why the match was short was because for that reason. Let's protect Drew. You got to protect one of your best assets, right? So that's the reason why this match was short, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I feel that you got to protect Drew while you can. He did damn near carry the company alongside Roman Reigns during this whole pandemic. But yeah, this had to be done, and I'm glad they kept it this way, because I don't really know much of this other guy. Corbin and Drew might fight down the road. They've probably already fought. I don't even remember that. Maybe on a SmackDown or something. But I think that'd be a good feud for Corbin and Drew, and then maybe have this Madcap guy come in between, and then that causes a feud between Corbin and Madcap and something like that. I don't know. But yeah, Drew needs some time off. He well deserved. He, like we said, carried the company through the pandemic, especially times when they had no audience. So he really brought that thing, the company, on his shoulders. So well deserved, and hope he makes a comeback. He can't do the Royal Rumble most likely unless he's got like that Cena recovery speed, or that Spider-Man healing factor, Wolverine healing factor. But yeah, like Will said and like you said, this shouldn't have been on the pay-per-view, but we had to have something because we already lost another match. But yeah, but then why not put somebody else like who like deserves it? Maybe like a Dolph Ziggler or somebody. I don't know who else could deserve it, but maybe put someone else in that kind of spotlight because I don't know what else feuds are going on in the shows, but maybe I don't know. Anyway, next match is the Raw Men's Tag Team Champions featuring RK Bro with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle against the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins.
Yeah, so as per usual, all my matches like always come subsequently. Weirdly enough, I guess because they're the more babyface team at the moment, the rap group Migos came out with them. I don't know why they seem to would have been more aligned with the Street Profits, but I digress. Whatever. Um, so the Street Profits were getting a lot of the upper hand. Actually, as I was watching this match, I realized we have a formula when it comes to RK Bro. Is Riddle takes a beating for most of the match and then gets the hot tag to Randy, and then it's just off to the races after that. There was a few like odd moments where the Street Profits were being a little heelish, kind of like taunting Migos. I don't know why it was never explained. But if they want to give the Street Profits something different to do and make them heels, I'm all for it. Something different, but they're a big merch team, so probably not. At least at this time. But of course they kept working on Riddle until they got the hot tag to Orton. And what he did, I don't think it has a name for it, but just like the double DDT, I don't think off the ropes. I don't think he has a name for
the
that.
hanging DDT, I think it's called.
What?
Hanging DDT?
Or something like that.
Oh no, I don't think they had it like named for something like specific to Orton. Usually he has like the RKO and the something else he has. And you
the punt kick.
Yeah. But and then they spilled out into the outside ring, and then Montez did his almost for him this patented I'm gonna run from one side of the ring over the turnbuckle rope to dive onto the other side of the ring. It's kind of like a patent move for him now, but giving the huge pop for the crowd, and then but they would get back into the ring, and then after some more back and forth between Orton and Montez Ford, I believe I don't recall if he was jumping off the middle of the ring or from the top rope. Montez Ford, that is, and he hit the RKO out of nowhere, and RK Bro retains their title ship for the Raw brand. And overall, the match was pretty good. I think I would probably give the slight edge to the Usos and New Day a little bit, but they do have more in-ring chemistry from fighting so many times, so that could be that. And I'm also getting tired of RK Bro a little bit too, so there's that as well. But I always like seeing a sick RKO out of nowhere, so that was kind of cool. I do try to give Orton his props when I can. There's few and far between, but overall the match was good. And we have because they're both babyface teams. It was good match, and they all celebrated with Migos afterwards, and it was also the next match. But anyway, are you? I know you said you don't like Matt Riddle, but are you like pro RK Bro as a team? Do you think, much like the SmackDown side, we need a little bit more spice in this tag team division?
Yeah, it's gonna happen, right? It's gonna happen. I feel like they're gonna break up, but I think this is a case of like what we said about Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Everyone thought Alexa was gonna screw over Nikki Cross, but we thought maybe Nikki Cross would screw over Alexa Bliss. That never happened. But I think everyone thinks Randy Orton's gonna end up screwing him up because they're always teasing the like him and RKOing Matt Riddle. I think it would be great if Matt Riddle turns heel and turns on that might make me like him. I don't know. And the fans really are behind Orton if he's a face or a heel. So maybe they'll keep him a face and have Matt Riddle turn heel. And maybe start a feud between them eventually when they lose. This is a good match, like you said. And you made a good point also that the New Day Usos probably was a little bit more like one up this match, but that's probably because they wrestled each other like 472 times last week, probably. So I don't know. This is a great match. I'm getting kind of tired of RK Bro. I really hope that Matt Riddle turns on Orton, but it probably won't happen until the title is lost. The titles are lost. It would have been nice to see the Street Profits take it from them. If not them, maybe Ziggler and Rude. And they're the thing about Ziggler and Rude, I don't know. Actually, I can't say Ziggler and Rude because I don't know what brand they're on. But let's say they're on Raw, and they kind of could poke the bear, right? They could like start a little feud. They could cause some dissension amongst Orton and Riddle. I think that would be a perfect team to do that and take the championship away from them and have Riddle feud with Orton going into WrestleMania possibly. That would be a good WrestleMania match. So, that's my thought. The next match, already this match? Wow, okay. Edge versus The Miz. I have no idea why this happened. I love Edge. I love Miz. I just know that they had some segments on Raw that started this match. I remember Edge paying Miz a compliment, but Miz said, "You're just patronizing me. You never really liked me. You should, instead of telling me this now, you should have told me this years ago when I was a rookie. You don't respect me, and all that kind of stuff." So that's why the feud happened. It was a fun match. You can't say anything bad about these two guys because they really work hard and care about the company. But yeah, we pretty much, I think Edge came out pretty on fire. He came out with his Brood entrance as well, no pun intended. And then pretty much dominated Miz for a bunch. But then Miz was able to counter by hitting Edge on the announcer's table. Then Miz tried to go for the skull crushing finale on the announcer's table, but Edge turned it into a front face DDT, side front face DDT. But he has a name for that, like Edge-O-Matic, but not the Edge-O-Matic. It's one of those Edge-O something moves. Anyway, he did that. They kept reversing each other in the ring after that. And then Maurice got involved and helped put Miz's foot on the rope to help break the submission. Edge then started firing back again. He went for a spear, but he fell into the ring post as Miz leapfrogged him. And apparently he hurt his knee. But it was only a distraction because that allowed, the Reds front over to check Miz. This allowed Maurice to slap Edge, but I don't know if he actually hit him with brass knuckles or something. That allowed the opening for Miz to hit the skull crushing finale, and go for the pin. But Edge kicks out. Then Maurice got onto the apron, and then a delayed music of Beth Phoenix came on. She ran to the ring, chased Maurice around, distracted Miz for a second, and Miz. While Miz was distracted, he turned right into a spear. Edge got the pinfall, 1, 2, 3. And right after that happened, Will texts me, says we're going to see Miz and Maurice against Beth Phoenix and Edge at WrestleMania or Rumble. And then Delisha texted me a few minutes later saying, do you think Miz and Maurice have ever fought Edge or Beth Phoenix? I'm like, hey, Will just texted me that as well. So most likely we're going to see an intergender match between the two couples, married couples. So maybe the kids will get involved as well. It'll be like a 5-on-5 match. Maybe save it for Survivor Series and make it a 5-on-5 elimination match. Alicia, your thoughts?
Book it now.
Book it now. And give me money if that happens. Royalties to me. Unless the kids get hurt. Then you can sue the WWE. What your thoughts, Alicia?
I this was a pretty good match. These are two entertaining performers, a Hall of Famer in Edge and a future Hall of Famer in Miz. So I wasn't really worried about where this match would go. My only slight critique is that I think it went a little too long. We could have trimmed some fat on this match, but because we lost a whole match, I think that's probably why. So I'm willing to forgive it just a little bit. But this match was set up for Beth Phoenix to return and for them to set up the 2-on-2 that we're inevitably going to get. I don't know if, because people are so excited, I don't know if you want to hold this off till Mania, which is in April. Unless it's through shenanigans somehow, but because I want to see this match right now, but that's just me being excited because I just love Beth Phoenix, and like I said, I don't think we've seen these four mix it up before. I'm not even sure, they probably have, but I'm not even sure if Beth and Maurice have fought. It's been so long since both of their title reigns. I can't remember if they were like just missed each other. I'll probably look it up just to see, but I'm pretty excited to see what shenanigans Miz and Maurice come up with to try to like get out of trying to fight them, and then just seeing Beth and Edge just wreck house because couple goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Will's setting up them eliminating each other from the Royal Rumble, where like Edge eliminates Miz comes back into the ring and eliminates Edge, and then Beth Phoenix eliminates Maurice. But I think it'd be a little more interesting if Maurice actually eliminates Beth, because that would be like a huge shock, right? So that would add a shock factor, and then Edge can poke the bear and say, "Hey, your wife did what you couldn't do, like like she eliminated my wife, who's like a Hall of Famer. You couldn't eliminate a Hall of Famer without cheating." Or maybe Edge. I don't think if Edge eliminates Miz, Miz won't come back. He'll try, but Edge will be fine, and then maybe get eliminated by somebody else. But yeah, if then Miz can like say something to call out Edge again, or Maurice can say something to call out Beth Phoenix, and then that's when Edge will say like, "You couldn't do what your wife did. She eliminated a Hall of Famer. You couldn't do that," and something like that. And then that starts to feud more, and then the women get like fighting too, and all that kind of stuff. And that's when I can see what happens. But yeah.
If it's happened on the show, or if I just saw it, because I know I saw it on Instagram. I love that Edge called Bev his enforcer.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny. Like those, because like I could tell they're gonna have so much fun with this. It gets me excited.
Yeah, and like they're all great on the mic, right? So it should work out very well. This should be a fun feud to see. Will it go to WrestleMania? I don't know. Is there a pay-per-view in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania? I think there's one, possibly. But I don't know what they could do with that.
Is that still a thing? Is Fastlane still a thing? That's still a thing, right?
Remember how Fastlane was the best pay-per-view last year? Like we were like, oh my god, Fastlane again. F for Fastlane, but it actually ended up being like the best pay-per-view last year, besides like Survivor Series or whatever it was.
Yeah,
that was funny. But yeah,
let's see if they can do that 2 years in a row.
Yeah, we'll see. That brings us to the next match for the Raw Women's Championship, Elimination Chamber. Thank you, Will. Yeah, that would be actually interesting. I don't know. We'll see. The Raw Women's Champion, I was going to say Beth Phoenix, but it's Becky Lynch against New Jersey's own, and I'm repping the jersey for Liv Morgan. They even said from Elmwood Park, New Jersey, and I popped a little bit. That was great. But yeah, this was maybe, in my opinion, one of the matches of the night. That was really fun to watch this match, and I love how I remember saying a while back when Bianca Belair had her breakout moment, whether it was in the Rumble as well as like Survivor Series. They really showcased her. This finally showcased Liv Morgan, in my opinion. She had a phenomenal match. No pun on AJ Styles, because I usually only use that for AJ Styles, but she did have a really good match. She pretty much took it to Becky Lynch from the beginning, hitting knees and throwing her off the announcer table, and kept like hitting her and kneeing her, and did like a lot of attack. Like, you showed all the aggression that was pent up. Like, she really played the story. Like Bleach always says, she loves storylines. The storyline played out well in her fighting style as well. She really had a lot of pent up anger, being screwed over and all that, and frustration, and it really showed it in her match, the way she fought. She kept like going after. She never really let up on Becky Lynch until I think Liv Morgan went for a hurricanrana, but Becky caught her and threw her into the turnbuckle, and slingshot her into the bottom rope, and then hit the leg drop after that. Then they kept hitting each other with like crazy hits, and Liv Morgan hit that awesome modified sunset flip powerbomb. It was like a side sunset flip. I don't know if you call it sunset flip. Maybe it's I don't know what you can call that, but it was like a sideways flip into a sunset powerbomb. That looked really cool. But that was only a 2 count. And then Morgan went. This is the sloppy part. It was a perfect match until the end. It got a little sloppy at the end. Liv Morgan went for. I thought the referee was gonna get knocked out, but like it was just like really a lot of confusion at the end between the referee, Becky Lynch, and Liv Morgan. Finally, Liv Morgan went for an Oblivion. Big time Bex caught her and pulled her off the rope and hit the manhandle slam. And then like she didn't know where she was in the ring, because I think she was trying to put her Becky didn't know where she was in the ring. I think she was trying to put her legs up or whatever, but couldn't do it. It was just really sloppy. The last 10 seconds of the match were very sloppy. Maybe 30 seconds if that. But other than that, I love the match. Becky retained after the manhandle slam, 1, 2, 3, and Liv Morgan's frustrated with maybe no more shots unless she wins a Rumble. I don't know, or Elimination Chamber. We'll see. Felicia, your thoughts?
Which is pretty great, and I do agree. I think this is one of the best matches that she's had in quite some time to really showcase since she's been getting that like pop from the crowd these last couple of months. So yeah, I was really excited to see her like get to shine. Coincidentally, over the weekend, I have been watching. I've been like going back watching like older NXT, and I got to the point where she was kind of like in her debuts. So it was kind of cool to see the juxtaposition of how far she has come from her intro to NXT and then up onto SmackDown and Raw and stuff like that. So I really think that was pretty cool to see. I kind of agree. I kind of think with this, the fans are like just so behind her. I think it's time to let her, if not win the Rumble, maybe get to the final two. I do see your comment about Alexa Bliss. I do think she's probably going to return at the Rumble, as the Alexa Bliss that we know of.
And love. Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, because unfortunately, right now with her losing her last two, title matches, she shouldn't really get another one anytime soon. Out Royal Rumble aside, like logically, it should be time for a new opponent for Becky. But WWE, they love running things into the ground, so who knows what we'll get in these next couple of weeks. But this match at day one was really good, and I think it showcased why the fans are behind Liv. It's almost the ultimate underdog story, which everyone loves. And so I kind of hope that she doesn't slide down too much, that she can still stay in that like upper echelon where we still get to see her and keep that momentum going.
Yeah, so like Will was saying, that Liv can win the Rumble. I think Alexa can come back and win the Rumble. And if Alexa comes back, I like your idea of Liv being at the end of the Rumble, maybe against Alexa, and if they have like Becky and Charlotte on the ringside during commentary, like they could distract Liv and she'll get frustrated and thrown out by Alexa or something. But I think if Liv and Alexa are the last two, Alexa will win, and then we'll see that Kofi type comeback by Liv Morgan in the Elimination Chamber. Kofi really drew so much momentum in that Elimination Chamber before Kofi Mania. I could see Liv Morgan having that, right? So her winning the Elimination Chamber to get the title shot. So if Alexa wins, she challenges Charlotte and beats Charlotte, and Liv Morgan can challenge Becky and beat Becky, and that would be great to see. That would be one of the best women's WrestleManias for me, to see Liv and Alexa Bliss both win championships on the same night at WrestleMania. But we'll see, I guess, right? Okay.
We're still. I mean, it's still early. I mean, no. It's like Rumble's like 2 weeks away. I was like, we're still early on. I was like, no, we're 2 weeks away. After like not having a pay-per-view for like a full month, it's like, oh, it's so far away. No, it's so close now.
It's gonna happen.
That we can start to see the possibilities start to shape up on who quite possibly win the Rumble. And I feel like, as usual with the women, it's always like 7 different women who could deserve to get that push.
Right.
So that's why I feel like right now, even though it's still fairly the newer Rumble, it's always interesting to see who they go with. But we'll see.
I wouldn't mind seeing Rhea Ripley win either, and then challenge Charlotte and finally beat her, but that's never gonna happen.
Please. But
all right. Anyway. Yep. And for the final match of the evening, because of what Delicia was saying earlier, it was originally supposed to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. However, Roman Reigns contracted COVID-19. Therefore, they moved Brock Lesnar into this match. So, for the WWE Championship, featuring the WWE Champion, Biggie Langston, defending against Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley.
First and foremost, we hope Roman gets well. Hopefully, he is able to fight back, or hopefully he is not as as bad as it seems for other people as well. So hopefully he's able to just chill and focus on him and then come back whenever he's cleared. And right away, as soon as I text Cal, that Lesnar was asking the match, I was like, I am worried. I am now worried for Big E. Because if you remember, guys,
and I said you should be.
If you were watching Raw, it was originally just supposed to be, Big E versus Seth Rollins, but shenanigans ensued over the next couple of weeks, and that's how we got to this. Well, what we thought was just going to be a fatal 4-way. Now is a 5-way, and I still think Owens had the best promo of the night saying he was going to team up with Rollins so he can get revenge for his soulmate Sami Zayn from Brock Lesnar. I just thought that was also my second favorite line of the night. But true to his word, that's exactly what they did right out the gate. They teamed up to take on Lesnar to get him out of the picture, but they both got hit with German suplexes before Biggie jumped in with some clotheslines after that. And but then E got driven into the ring post by Lashley, and then what was probably one of the best stare downs of the night between Lashley and Lesnar. Also, people are like, "Give me that match right now." Lashley had the idea, was like, "It's fine. I'm just going to take him out now and spear him into the barricade," which should have made us suspicious right then and there, because they don't ever let Lesnar get beat up too much like that. And then Rollins and Owens were back on the attack. They frog splash, I believe, Lashley off the apron onto the floor, and also they hit Lesnar onto the steel steps. I can't speak, y'all. I don't know why. I swear I'm only drinking tea. So trying to take out the two biggest dudes in the ring, or I guess what they would probably deem the most threatening ones. And so, okay. Sorry, I just realized my dog Sage is stuck on the floor, and that's why she is whining. So let me just literally only 30 more seconds of this match ensued as Biggie went after Rollins. I believe he hit them both with the big endings before he did the same to Lashley. But of course, that gave Brock Lesnar time to recover. Biggie went after Lesnar, but he got hit with the F5, and now Lesnar is our champion for Raw. And if you're wondering why he was able to get into this match, he just threw the throwaway line he's a free agent thanks to his advocate, Paul Heyman. I'll give your thoughts, and then I'll give my thoughts on this match afterwards, because she's really stuck on the floor, and that's why she's whining, and I don't want that new.
All right, yeah. So for me, I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a good match. A lot of great spots in it throughout, like the slam. I mean the spear, as well as the frog splashes, as well as the 17 F5s we saw from Brock Lesnar. A lot of people are saying, yeah, we want to see Brock versus Bobby. That would be good, but I think Big E's probably gonna get a rematch eventually, maybe tonight or within next week's Raw or something. Who wins the Rumble? I don't know, but I feel like the majority of these guys in this match right here are going to be in the Elimination Chamber, if not all of them. What is it, like 6 guys in the Elimination Chamber? So 3 of them have to be in this picture, I guess. So 3 of the... one of them is going to be champion, most likely. Big E will probably get his title shot. So maybe it'll be Kevin Owens, Big E, and Rollins in that Elimination Chamber match, possibly representing Raw, or whatever brand they're on. Raw. Yeah, Raw. And the other 3 guys are going to come from SmackDown, most likely. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm always glad to see Brock champion. I know it pisses people off, but I saw, I think, Big Time Gaming saying, like, it sucks that, Brock is a part-timer. I see a lot of those tweets from a lot of people. And then I saw someone saying Brock's champion, Becky's champion, Charlotte's champion. This means, like, it's pretty bad for wrestling. But if you think about it, when has Vince McMahon really cared about wrestling in the last 20 years, right? Vince McMahon is a businessman, right? He'll do what makes him money. And Brock Lesnar sells tickets. So that's what he's going to do, and that's where he's going to keep the title. I love Big E alone. If he goes back to New Day, that's going to suck, because I'm not a fan of the New Day. I did like Big E alone, but I'd rather have Brock as champion, honestly. I mean, I love... If Brock wasn't there, great. Big E, yeah, keep him as champion. But whenever Brock's there, I love seeing him as champion, because I think he's a great champion. Like I said, it harkens back to the old days when I used to watch wrestling. I mean, I never stopped watching wrestling. But back when I was a kid, watching wrestling, and the champions only defended their championship once every... Well, the pay-per-viewers weren't every month, right? So, yeah, that's what I see. Like, I don't mind that. And I enjoy it. I know it makes a lot of people unhappy, but I feel that's what's going to sell tickets. And That's what Vince McMahon cares about. I don't think we'll talk about unifying titles. I don't think they'll do that. It'll be the same, if it ever happens, it'll be the same thing as when Becky 2 belts happened, right? She had both championships. They can't unify belts anymore because they need more belts, like, for the people, like the 2 brands. I don't think they can unify it and have the floating universal champ. Well, back then it was, the undisputed champion. They can't have that anymore. It's not fair to the talent. But yeah, I'm happy. Brock's champion. I'm glad. Delisha?
Yeah, so after sitting with it for a day, because I was not happy. I mean, I'm still not happy that they just took it off Big E for. I mean, I get it because tickets, but I really was enjoying E as champion. I think, and I don't think he really had, or he really wasn't written to really have a really like marquee feud yet. Outside of when he won it off of Lashley. But just speaking of the match itself, I did like it. I do like this version of Brock and where he's getting more time on the mic, and I think he's doing a really good job with that and being like face Brock, even though whenever he comes back he's always a face because the crowd just gonna cheer for him. So I have been enjoying that. It was just like, I don't know, it just left a bad taste in my mouth just seeing him just F5 Big E and win. But if they turn it around and Big E gets to beat Brock Lesnar for it later on, that'd be great. But I don't think that's gonna happen either.
Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
I was like, that's not gonna happen.
Not cleanly. What would happen is that the New Day would help him win, right? It'll be like Kofi hitting his finisher, Xavier hitting his finisher, and then Big E hitting the finisher. That's the only way they'll probably have him win cleanly. Well, it's not even clean victory.
Or like a triple threat and Brock doesn't get pinned.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, but the match itself, even though I think the match was only like 5 minutes long, it got the crowd was hyped up. They were pumped, especially with that, like I said, that stare down between Lashley and Lesnar. So if WWE is listening and watching, that should be probably the next like match, probably. Because usually, because I guess like I said, they put them all they could put them in the chamber and have them duke it out there. But
I'm gonna tell you, go ahead and finish, because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. I wrote the script. Okay. I already wrote the script for WWE. They're gonna take it from my hands.
Oh, got it. But no, but at some point we need to see Lashley and Lesnar in the ring, because that was just, big meaty men slapping meat in the ring is what we all love to see.
Okay. So I already told you what's going to happen on the women's side. Alexa's going to come back in Royal Rumble and win it. And Liv might be the last woman. She's going to be very frustrated. But she'll go on to win the Elimination Chamber and face Becky at WrestleMania. And Alexa will face Charlotte at WrestleMania. We've already got that settled for the women. Now for the men, I don't know what's going to happen with Roman Reigns because of his health. Right? So they haven't told me yet. Roman hasn't called me this morning. So I don't know. He's probably still sleeping in or whatever it is. So I don't know what's going on with Roman. I don't know when he's going to wrestle again. But here's what's going to happen for the men. At Royal Rumble, we might see Big E versus Brock for the championship, right? Rematch clause. Brock will retain. Okay? Bobby Lashley will win the Royal Rumble. Bobby Lashley will then challenge, what's his name? Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. But we cannot forget the Elimination Chamber. So Big E will be put into the Elimination Chamber to represent Raw alongside probably Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. And 2 of the 3 men to represent SmackDown will be the New Day, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. And we're going to have the match start out maybe with Kofi against Xavier because they're both tag team partners, right? And then the third man in the ring might be Big E. And they're all going to shake hands and hug, and then they're going to go at it. And that's what we're going to see. Or they'll be the last 3. Whatever's going to happen, it's going to come down to those 3, I think. And then if everybody wants Xavier, if he's getting pushed, because nobody really likes Xavier, but for some reason he's King Xavier. If he wins the Elimination Chamber, he'll go on to face Roman Reigns. Because remember, he got his crown stomped or whatever. I saw that only in the package prior to the match. I didn't watch that SmackDown episode, but he might go on to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania if Roman's feeling better, and then maybe Kofi and like the Usos. I mean. What's his face? Xavier might be building up a lot of momentum. Then the Usos jump up on the apron to help Roman stop Xavier's momentum. Then Big E and Kofi come out and help Xavier take out the Usos. and then maybe distract Roman for a second, which causes Xavier to hit whatever his finishing move is, which I don't even know what it is because I don't think he's ever wrestled in his life. But yeah, and then Xavier might win the championship, unfortunately, at WrestleMania, and that's going to be awful, 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 awful. But, that's what I'm saying is going to happen right now if I wrote the script for WrestleMania. Actually, I'd have Roman win because nobody likes Xavier, but I can see them doing that just for the big moment. But that's what I predict from now until WrestleMania. And now that they heard it, Vince McMahon's probably going to be pissed. I'm going to get a call from Vince McMahon in about 5 minutes telling me why did I ruin the storylines for the next 2 pay-per-views, and they're going to change it. And if it changes from now to then, it's because Vince McMahon called me and got mad at me. What are your thoughts on that, Delisha?
That's interesting to see, especially seeing all 3 of them in the chamber. Be a interesting dynamic to see how that gets pulled off. Or if they have to eliminate one another, it'd be kind of cool. And like I said, I just been loving Big E in his singles run, and I didn't want it to end yet, but hopefully he gets another chance at that. Honestly, a dark horse pick for me, because he also deserves it. I think it's Kevin Owens, man. He's just been he just continued to do whatever is asked of him, and no matter what, he keeps it entertaining. Like, even though he goes back and forth with heel and face, unlike with the Big Show, at least it's still entertaining. And I like how they kind of just this last heel turn was because people kept expecting him to be a heel. So he was like, well, fine, I'll just be a heel because that's what you're expecting of me. And he's just been great, and I want to see him succeed. And he hasn't been, has he been champion since his initial
no, not main card championship, mid card.
Yeah, I know he's had like IC and US titles. Okay, so
not since Finn Balor got injured and he took it over. I think, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, I think he's due, and I'll be excited to see that too.
Yeah, that's Will's pick for the Rumble, but that's not gonna happen. I'm telling you now, what's gonna happen. I just told you what happened. Actually, I didn't pick who won the Royal Rumble, did I? Oh no, I said Bobby Lashley. Never mind. Yeah, Bobby Lashley. All right, so I basically set up the WrestleMania road to WrestleMania already, so we're set for that. But that makes me think about Royal Rumble. And it makes me think of people like Andre the Giant and Big Show and Yokozuna. If you're that damn big, when you get into the ring, just lay down. So for this Royal Rumble, that's my strategy to your big guys out there. Get into the ring and just lay down because you're dead weight. You're dead weight. So they can't really pick you up, and that's the hardest way to get you out. I mean, if everyone gets onto you and takes one leg, one arm, maybe yes, but just lay down in the ring. Maybe hug the turnbuckle with your wrap your legs around the bottom of the turnbuckle. Then they can't get you out, I don't think. Or wrap your arms around the bottom of the turnbuckle. That's my advice for the Royal Rumble, because I'm a veteran of the Rumble. I've won several, maybe only in video games, but I've won several, so I know. So you got my picks for the next 2 pay-per-views. I give you guys sound advice. I think that's a great New Year's gift I've given to all of you. So keep that in mind. That brings us to our final thoughts. So, Delisha, what is your low point, your high point, and your overall grade?
Low point, I think I'm just going to give it to the Drew Madcap match, just because it was a match we actually have seen on SmackDown, and that could have been on SmackDown. And even though it was just fine, it was it didn't need to be there. My high point, I'm just going to give it to Beth returning because I loved it so much. And it just made me excited. And just to see her and Edge get to work together. I mean, I think they've had a promo or 2, I think, with each other or something like that, but never added into a storyline outside of her being RKO'd by Orton, but legitimately in the storyline and potentially, more than likely, 99.9% sure for a match against Miz, is just one of the more entertaining people on the roster. And overall, I think I'm going to give it a B-. The matches were good to great. And I personally wasn't a fan of Lesnar getting the title yet again, but I understand for reasons. But overall, I think it was an entertaining pay-per-view, and for the first one of the year, pretty good, off to a good start.
Yeah. I just realized that my outfit matches the color scheme of day one, so that's another gift to all of you as well.
I thought you did that.
I didn't mean that, and I just realized it now. But my low point would have to be, although Delisha said, yeah, we do wish him the best, Roman Reigns having to bow out of the main event, because that was a great main event, Roman versus Brock. Even though we've seen it before, that was still with all the momentum going through, all the the weeks leading up to this, that would have been a great match. So not having that is very unfortunate. But like we said, we wish him the best. High point, besides Brock winning, because that's too easy, Liv Morgan match. I think she was showcased so very well. It was very much needed for her, and I hope that gives her the impetus to win the championship at WrestleMania, by the way I said. So that's what I see. Overall grade B. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the pay-per-view. It was very fun. It probably would have been an A or B+. B plus A if the main event ended up happening, right? That would have threw it over the top, but unfortunately it didn't. This was a solid card from top to bottom. We had some moments where like a little shaky, but other than that, great pay-per-view. Good way to start. I really enjoyed it. So let's hope it rides this wave of momentum into WrestleMania, on the road to WrestleMania.
A quick question, because it just came to mind. Granted, he's fine. Can you see Roman coming back and costing Brock the championship? He was like, no, we're not done. And, because he's a free agent, he can just go back over to SmackDown. Because that happened.
Yeah,
I don't know when.
I have to talk to...
So that they can get that marquee Reigns versus Brock at WrestleMania. Because we're not getting Reigns versus Rock, we'll get Reigns versus Brock instead.
Yeah. Possibly, but I have to talk to Roman first and see what happens. See how fast he gets. Because do you want to bring him back that quickly? He's got to be out for at least 2 weeks, right? Costing him the match? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be at the Rumble. It could be at Chamber or Fastlane.
Mm-hmm. Guess we'll see. All right. With that said, that was our first pay-per-view of the year. Very enjoyable, I thought. But Alicia, where can we find you? I know we have a series video you just posted today, I believe. So,
you can find me on Instagram and on YouTube's at Delisha Renee TV. And I just posted a video this morning as I had just gotten recently diagnosed with gestational diabetes. But I'm okay. Baby's okay. It's just not something that I wanted to hear. So if you want, you can just check it out in the community tab. Is that the right one? Or in the description?
It's in the description.
If you want to link over to that to see what I'm talking about. But other than that, they're not all, sad.
Yeah.
I've just been journaling my pregnancy throughout the time being and trying to do some recipe videos as well.
Yep. And the next time you'll see me and Delisha will be on the Royal Rumble recap. Remember, the Royal Rumble is on a Saturday on January 29th. Therefore, our recap will be 2 days later on Monday evening, January 31st. I will not be streaming anything from now until then, I don't believe. However, coming back to streaming might be in February, mid to late February, whatever Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West comes out. I'm not sure when that is, but I think it's in February. So that's not how I'll be game streaming, but we'll see us before that on AfterMat for Royal Rumble. So until then, keep slamming the haters and be the champion of your dreams. We'll see you next time.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. sun